lay it on its side and then roll the grunt on a little bit smoother, and he's looking pretty sharp, mate. I got some good money for him to stay there. Under race orders. Oh, bad start there for the Duke. Real bad
great
out of the
start by
gate.
Nathan Jane around from position 4, and he's going to lead them into turn 1 from the outside with Con London in second.
What a great
Ashton
start.
Hughes up the inside, and a very nice move from Ashton on the 600. Eddie Kettenberg buried back in the field, about 10th, 11th place, just going backwards at the moment.
That put my little pick right out there. Sorry about that, Eddie.
So looking like a good battle group. Connor in third, he's looking really racy, trying to get through to the front. Oh, he's
Great dive
nice.
bomb.
Ooh,
And Evie shuts the door.
nose chopped off. So we got our breakaway 4, and you see that power of the 1,000 over the 600 and Aaron in 4th.
Jumps out of the corner, but doesn't really hurt the 600 very much at the end, does it?
Because it is a lot heavier, obviously, and you got to brake a lot earlier on them, so the 600 can chomp it up under brakes. So we've got Nathan Jane out in front of the 600 with Ashton Hughes behind him, who knows this track really well. In second, and Connor London on the 1,000 in third, and Aaron Hassan 4th, and then Avalon bit a little bit back in 5th.
Nathan Jane had a great last round, eh? He won everything in the rain. He's looking real good. His first year up onto the 600, and he's going to be right in there, isn't he?
Yeah, I know Nathan does a lot of training, so he takes it very seriously. Connor's looking very race. He's gone wide into the last corner and squared it off, trying to get the run down to turn 1, and just uses the big power of that 7. Oh, okay. Well, he tried to get the inside of Ashton Hughes there, but Ashton Hughes pulled out and up the inside of Nathan instead. So we've got a new race leader in Ashton Hughes and Nathan Jane behind him.
Where the heck has Ashton Hughes come from, mate?
He's a Wellington rider. He's been doing a lot of club days. He knows this Taupo track really well. He did 600 last year. Has sort of been getting better and better as his racing career's gone on, and he's sort of just at that point at the moment where he's going really well.
He's looking real good, mate. 675 Triumph.
London tried. Oh, he's not very aggressive as old Connor. He could have made a lot of these moves stick, but he's just sort of biding his time. I think he knows he's got the extra power of the 1,000 there, and he doesn't really want to sort of duff up anyone too much, I don't think.
Ashton's doing a great job. He's got both the Barnes and Jenkins boys on the back of him, and they'll be using this as the little warm-up for the Tri Series, which is coming up in about 7 weeks' time.
Yeah, Ashton is riding really well. He's got a fair few quick guys behind him that have done a lot of road racing, a lot more than he has.
And there's a little Hassan joining in, eh? He wants to turn it into a 4-way, but Avi's dropped back a little bit.
Yeah, Connor's got a good drive out of that last corner and uses the extra grunt of the 1,000 to pull through in a second. Ashton Hughes still lead, and Aaron has some dive bombs up the inside and that gets his nose chopped right off by Nathan Jane.
Well, so maybe the boys are just letting it warm up and then they're going to turn into it, or has Ashton got some pace, you reckon?
11.9's not terribly quick. It's quite on there, but you could probably drop a second or so from what you're doing at the moment. But no, Ashton is riding really well. He may be surprising.
Oh, huge drive, mate. That was beautiful.
Oh, he's got his nose chopped around the outside there as well.
That was nice. Like, that thing drives down the corner and it doesn't look messy or anything. It's just sitting there, isn't it?
Totally caught Ashton Hughes by surprise, and he was not aware that the pass was coming.
So one of the first rides for Connor on the 1,000, and he's looking real comfortable,
He's looking really well. He's got a great riding style, has great body positioning. He's as far off the bike as he can. If he ever has a moment, he can. He's close enough to the ground to sort of dig his knee and maybe his elbow as well to try and keep the front wheel in line. He's already sort of putting a breakaway on this group, so would not be surprised if Connor decides to check off in the distance now and put down some quick laps.
That would be quite cool to see. And you think that the 1,000 should annihilate a little 600, but boy, trying to lay that power and everything that it's got, it can actually wreck your head and make it's quite a physical little job to try and ride one of those things.
Nathan Jane and Ashton Hughes having a real big battle in for second place. Nathan Jane throws up the inside, a very aggressive move. Aaron Hassan just sitting back and forth, just waiting for the fireworks to sort of unfold. Nathan Jane sees Connor getting off in distance, and if he has any sort of chance of sticking anywhere near him, he's going to have to try and get in front of Ashton and as close to him as he can at the moment.
Still got 5 laps to go. It'll be quite interesting to see if Nathan Jane can try and scoot it on onto the back of Connor and keep him honest.
Yeah, we got down to the 10.9s there with Connor. He had to make it past that lap, so I think this lap will give us a better indication of how quick the ZX10's going, and if it's like the sort of bike that Connor's going to do well on.
Those are some real good lap times down at the first one that we had. It was real cold and stuff, but Mitch Rees turned up and Hayden Fitzgerald, and they dropped into the 9s, but Hayden was still in the 10s and stuff. So Connor's showing that he's going to be a real good challenger in the Tri Series and stuff this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are
He's smoking up.
surprising a lot of people this year with some quick pace that we didn't expect. There's Aaron Hassan's pretty keen to get through on Ashton Hughes here, and he's just runs Ashton right out of room going into turn 1. Didn't leave him much room at all actually. And so Aaron Hassan through into third now. Nathan Jane in second, and Aaron Hassan would be my pick to try and claw into the back of Nathan Jane and to make it a 600 fight for the top 2.
And we're joined up here by 2 real nervous people, Connor's parents, and watching. They seem pretty nervous, but he looks real good out there.
Yeah, Connor's now down to the 10.6s, so he's dropping his lap times lap by lap, which is always good to see. You just means you're learning and just seeing how much the bike you can push the bike here, and the rear's as stiff as you want it, or the front's as soft as you want it. Nathan Jane's got 2 very fast 600s on his tail now. Aaron Hassan riding really well. He broke really late into the chicane over the back, and they got a 3-way fight for second. The 3 600s with the 1,000 out by itself at the front.
Man, that 10 drives down that last corner, even though there's painted white lines and it's slippery, he's throwing it in there, and it's just coming out of there sideways, but it looks real comfortable.
Aaron Hassan looks like he's trying to go up the inside of Nathan Jane into turn 1, makes it stick, parks the bike where Nathan wants to go, and there's nothing Nathan can do about it.
Slowing up a little bit there for Nathan Jane. He dropped back into the 12s, and we've got 3 laps to go, and Connor's down to a 10.4. He's got a clear pair of heels, and he's running away, and Avi's dropped back into 5th. First little go on that 600.
Yeah, she might take a fair few while getting used to the bike. Everyone's a really good rider here. At Nationals at Taupo, she was riding really well. Tucked the front about there last in Nationals, but she was riding really well until that. So she does like the Taupo track.
She was the only one to sort of match Damon Rees and Shane last year, wasn't she? She put on a great performance here and gave her boyfriend a bit of a beating.
He did. So we got that fight for second place with Aaron Hassan getting away a little bit. Nathan Jane trying to hold off Ashton Hughes. He's looking pretty racy there in 4th. We're now down with 3 laps to go, with Connor just still stretching that lead out.
And sorry for jinxing poor old Eddie Kattenberg. He's back there in 9th, and be quite interesting. He's been going through a lot of bike issues and stuff, trying to get that thing set up, which is very, very different. And hopefully today he'll do a good little performance. But this class is strong all the way through, isn't it?
Those grid marking coming out of the last corner just been painted. So they're actually a lot grippier. They've been painted with some real grippy paint. So still the white lines on the inside of corners are real slippery. But Eddie Kattenberg gone past Richard Mark and Barrett on the crane mark.
And that's the great thing. Carl Cox there coming in and putting in some input, and he wanted those lines off as well. So that's great, A bit of a safety thing, because there's a big wall there.
They're really doing it really well. They sort of gauged what the riders feel needs doing first and work from there. Like the white lines are pretty high on our priority list. It's really slippery out there, especially in the wet. It's pretty treacherous. So that's got done pretty early on, which is great to see. Taking some initiative and trying to work in with what the riders want doing. You can see in that last corner, Connor's not afraid to get on the gas.
And the quick shifter sounds cool, doesn't it? It just does a beautiful little pop.
Ashton Hughes is really looking to get through on Nathan Jane. Aaron Hassan sort of kept him a little bit. Aaron's done 3 laps at 11.0, so he's pretty consistently on the 11 flat mark. Nathan Jane back into the 12s. Ashton Hughes still looking. Oh, he's gone past him now. So he's made the move into turn 1. And
great ride, mate.
He's riding really well. Nathan Jane and Aaron Hassan and Coron London are sort of names he threw around at the top as the top riders in New Zealand. And Ashton's thrown it in there with the top guys, and he's doing really well and sort of hold his own.
Yeah, Connor's been overseas riding heaps. Aaron Hassan, brother of Jaden, been riding, and they've been sort of sitting the winter out and saving up. But normally the big boys turn up in the summer or when it gets a bit warmer and come out and beat everyone up. But this Ashton's come out there and all guns are blazing.
He's doing really well, surprising a lot of people. He is looking like a real threat, sort of, if he can keep this pace up for at least the top sort of 10 in Nationals. But we do see the white flag is out now for...
Great race there for Connor.
Oh, chicken flag for Connor, actually. Yeah, it was. So chicken flag for Connor. Con London for the first race of the day.
Aaron Hassan.
Aaron Hassan in second and Ashton Hughes in third.
What a
making
great
that last
ride,
lap
Ashton.
pass. Yeah, really good ride.
Nathan Jane, he's the series points leader, isn't he, coming into this one? So he has the chance to take it out. Mitch Rees hasn't turned up. Like, a lot of the boys are still building their bikes and they're getting ready for the 6 hour and tri-series and everything like that.
Avalon Biddle holds on to 5th place from a hard-charging Hamish Tarr and Jake Keller, who broke his femur over there in the chicane about a year ago, or 2 years ago maybe. So, yeah, it's good to see them coming back and getting back on the bike. So for the Winter Series Senior, Nick Camberhout. Nick Camberhout, who's not here today, is leading the points with 77, so it might...
I think it might change over, eh? Nathan Jane,
might dent his championship chances if he's not here.
Yep.
So Nathan Jane with Mitch Rees and Adrian Clare, Grant Eckstein, Hayden Fitzgerald, all not here.
So each of the rounds have had some pretty big heavy hitters turn up, and do some good lap times and entertain everyone.
So Mitch Rees was here in the first round and won all 3 races. And
that was a good little go with Hayden Fitzgerald on that new R1 too, eh?
So they had a good dice there. And here we've got Con London, Aaron Hassan, and Ashton Hughes turn up to sort of make it as interesting as they can. In 12th place, we have a lowly Jared Love with 16 points from race 2 last weekend.
So some pretty good lap times down there, eh? Top 8 in the minute 13s, which are quite respectable lap times.
Yeah, it's very respectable. Con London, the fastest, obviously, in a 10.4.
Yep.